I'm in here like swimwear. Let's get it. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's the kid Commoninterest out here today, bringing you vlog number 22. And today I want to talk to you guys about how I got into producing music and making beats. So without further ado, let's get into it. So it all started way back. We got to go way back to like the 2nd or 3rd grade when my parents got me my first Game Boy Advance. And my very first game on the Game Boy Advance was Mega Man Extreme 2. Still have it till this day. It was an amazing game. Like, I really enjoyed that game. One of the things I liked most about the game was the soundtrack, specifically Stage 1, the opening soundtrack on Stage 1. It was amazing. It was so good that I would take my Game Boy, turn it on, play the game just for the music. I would just keep the Game Boy in my pocket and listen to the soundtrack. I remember one time I was in class and we had bathrooms in our classrooms in elementary school. And I went in there and just listened to Mega Man music in the bathroom the entire time for about a good maybe 5 minutes and whatnot. My second encounter with good music was, my dad used to always play gangster rap in the car. Like always, just straight up raw hip hop, 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, Pharrell, Eminem, just a lot of hip hop. I remember specifically he listened to 50 Cent a lot. I think it's probably one of his favorite rappers to this day, but listened to a lot of 50 Cent. The Massacre was a great album. I really enjoyed The Massacre. Lloyd Banks, he was dope. Listened to a lot of Lloyd Banks. I remember my dad got me the album Lloyd Banks' Hunger for More. Album was fire. For some reason, G-Unit had the most fire beats, man. Whoever was producing for G-Unit was doing a good job, man. All the G-Unit beats bang hard. I remember I'm so fly, I got money, so that's a good enough reason about the things I buy. It's fire. I remember my dad getting me a Batman MP3 player when I was younger, and he would fill it with all the music that he would listen to. I would be really excited for him to put all the new music on there. Like, once I finished listening to the old music, I'm like, Dad, yo, you gotta put the new music on my Batman MP3. And I would be like pressing him out for some new gangster rap, man. It was a necessity. I needed it in my life. Let's fast forward a bit more to when my parents got me my GameCube. I was about maybe 5th or 6th grade. And the GameCube was an amazing console. I remember one of the first games I got was Def Jam Vendetta. And that game was fire. It was heavily hip-hop influenced. And it had a lot of the music that my dad listened to inside the game. So that was pretty cool, getting to wrestle with all these rap characters and listen to gangster rap at the same time. Then my parents got me this video game called SSX3, snowboarding video game. And that is one of my favorite video games to this day. It had an amazing soundtrack. It had this feature on it where you could select a playlist of songs from the game and organize them so you could get a chance to listen to them when you're playing the game. SSX3 had a lot of electronic music in it. I just thought it was called video game music at the time, you know? And I thought you could only find electronic music inside of video games. Get back to that a little bit later. Fast forward a little bit more, summer of 2006, I visited my cousin in Virginia Beach or North Carolina, one of the two. Since he was in Virginia Beach or North Carolina, he was surrounded by a lot of white folks. Nothing wrong with that. But it definitely contributed to what type of music he listened to, and he started listening to a lot of rock. I remember him listening to Linkin Park. I took his MP3 and scrolling through his MP3, and I'm like, yo, what is this? He's like, yo, that's that Linkin Park. It's hard, isn't it? I'm like, yo, this is fire. This is like the most fire stuff I've ever heard in my life. That definitely contributed to the type of music I listen to now. I remember after 2006 was over, I'm going into the 7th grade now, and bus rides to school, I'm listening to Linkin Park. I'm listening to their first album, Hybrid Theory, I think that's the name of it. And then I had Reanimation, which was a remix of all the songs from the first album. And oh man, that was some good ass times. I memorized all the songs from the first album. I could still say like some of the lyrics. I watch how the moon sits in the sky in the dark night, shining with the light from the sun. If the sun doesn't give the light to the moon, assuming the moon's gonna owe it one, it makes you thinking, oh shit. Good freaking music. I remember seeing the movie School of Rock right around that same time as well, and it inspired me to maybe want to play some rock music, get an electric guitar, you know? So Christmas rolled around when I was in the 7th grade, and I convinced my parents to get me an electric guitar. Had a couple of guitar lessons. Guitar was hard, my fingers weren't long enough, excuses. Maybe I had about 5 guitar lessons. It was very boring. I don't like guitar lessons a lot, so I quit guitar. I didn't play guitar much after that, but I still listen to a lot of rock music. 7th grade over, 8th grade rolls around, and I remember picking the classes that I want to be on my schedule, and I picked band to be on my schedule. Why? I don't know. I wanted to try something new. First day of band class, I remember band was when I discovered that Filipinos existed. Never hung out with Filipinos in my life until I got into band class, and yo, I was obsessed with Filipino women or girls. I was obsessed with Filipino girls when I was younger, and you know, I wouldn't mind being with a Filipino woman. Anyways, I'm getting off track. Just talk about Filipino girls some other time. I played the trumpet in band class, and I never learned how to read music. Never attended any of the band recitals, but I played everything by ear, and I guess memorized the songs that we had to play. But yeah, I played the trumpet for a little bit. 8th grade summer rolls around. I'm in Walmart. I'm in the video game section, and I see this video game for the PSP in the window, and it said Trackpad. And I'm like, yo, what's that? It had piano keys on the front of it, something that looked like squares, which happened to be drum pads for sequencers. It looked amazing. I'm like, yo, what's that game right there? So I call up somebody in the store, and they show me the game. They tell me what's it about. It's a game where you make beats on it. You make music. And I'm like, oh, interesting. So my mom gets me that video game for my birthday, and Trackpad was freaking amazing, okay? I was making beats on Trackpad that whole summer, okay? Trackpad was this game where you could sequence drum patterns and melodies, and it had samples and all these things that now make sense to me because I'm making music now. And it had all these kits, producer kits. And I remember it saying Illmind. Illmind was in that video game, okay? Illmind had a producer kit in the video game Trackpad. So now that I know who Illmind is, it's pretty amazing because I still use Illmind kits to this day to make my beats. So Trackpad was a dope game, and that's what kind of got me closer to figuring out that I wanted to make beats, but I didn't know it yet. All right, so the summer's over and I'm going into 9th grade, high school. And in my first period of class, I have class with this dude. He has long hair and I see him listening to music. I'm like, yo, what are you listening to? He gives me his headphones and I put it in. It was some heavy stuff. I'm like, what is this? He's like, yeah, man, it's heavy, isn't it? It's like rock on steroids. It's called heavy metal. And I liked it a lot. Like, he got me hip to Devil Wears Prada, Attack, Slipknot, Avenged Sevenfold, like tons of heavy metal bands. So I listened to heavy metal all throughout my 9th grade year. 10th grade rolls around, I meet another kid by the name of Chase Steinberger. He also listened to heavy metal, and he was really into drums. Like, he played the drums, he could play his ass off on the drums. Chase and I formed a little small rock group, which included Chase, this girl named Jackie, who, shouts out to Jackie, she's an artist. She also plays guitar and she does some other stuff, and myself. And we were in a band for a while. You know, we used to have band practice. Maybe we had band practice about 5 times. You know, we were gonna be a rock band. I was gonna be in a rock band, yo. I was gonna be in a heavy metal band. I'm about that metal life. No, it didn't turn out that way. I had a falling out with Chase. I did something stupid. Something stupid that changed my life forever. It's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. Get back to that. So yeah, that was a huge turning point in my life. 10th grade is over, 11th grade summer rolls around, I'm figuring things out. I have Pandora radio on my Motorola Backflip at the time, which is the cell phone I had. Great cell phone. And I stumbled upon some electronic music. I discovered drum and bass. And I'm like, yo, this is the type of music that it's in video games, but it exists outside of video games. So, first drum and bass artist I discovered was Netsky. And around that same time, I start dabbling into making music a little bit more. You know, I'm trying to figure out, you know, what I want to do with my life. And I discovered this app on my cell phone called U-Loops. It was an app where you could make beats and sequence beats, and there was a community of people surrounding the app that would make beats as well, and you could upload the beats onto their server and people would comment on your beat, hey, cool beat. And oh man, it was like SoundCloud before SoundCloud, you know, on your cell phone. And these producers on this app were making some pretty cool beats at the time, which I thought they were pretty cool, you know. But now looking back at the beats now, the beats were garbage. I made beats on U-loops the entire summer, and I continued to make beats coming out the summer going into my 11th grade year. So 11th grade year was when I convinced my parents to get me something called the Akai XR20. Yeah, the Akai XR20, because I stumbled upon A-Rap Music, and A-Rap Music was a beast. He was one of my favorite producers, top five producers for sure. So he inspired me to get the Akai XR20. 11th grade is over, summer comes, and starting to get serious about college and, you know, what school I want to go to. And the Art Institute invites me out to some summer program or something, and it's like $500 to enter. Mom puts me in it, thanks Mom Dukes. And it's a week program, and that whole week was amazing. I was in there learning about Pro Tools and making beats on Pro Tools and learning about audio. That was a really fun time. And at the end of the program, whatever student had done the best or the teacher felt like learned the most got a $1,000 scholarship to go towards going to the Art Institute. And I ended up winning the $1,000 scholarship to go to the Art Institute. So that was really dope. 12th grade rolls around. I'm super serious about music. I want to make music for the rest of my life now, and nothing's gonna get in my way. Christmas time rolls around, and I convinced my parents to get me Reason, but they didn't get me the full version of Reason. They got me Reason Essentials, but it didn't really matter until I got more serious about music and discovered all these cool sounds that you could make. I was making beats on Reason Essentials for the rest of my 12th grade year. 12th grade was also when I discovered this genre of music called Dubstep, which was fairly new at the time. And Dubstep was life-changing. Yeah, Dubstep was awesome. At first I thought Dubstep was an artist. It turned out Dubstep was a genre of music full of producers who had heavy bass, such as Skrillex. I was listening to Skrillex a lot. Yeah man, Dubstep was awesome. I remember being in computer graphics a lot, and I would just sit and watch YouTube videos of people making beats, discovering everything about, you know, music. I found out about Native Instruments Machine somehow. I was just on the computer and I saw Native Instruments Machine, and I'm like, yo, that looks amazing. So I graduated. My grandfather gave me some cash to do whatever I wanted with. I got the Native Instruments Machine. That was the first thing I got with my money, my graduation money. I got the Native Instruments Machine. When I got it, I was a little disappointed because I thought it was standalone like the MPC, but it wasn't, and my heart dropped a little bit. But I've been making fire on the machine ever since. I love it. It's my baby. It's my one and only DAW. I don't use anything else to make my beats but Machine. But don't get me wrong, your boy can make fire in other DAWs too. That was when I really took off and started taking music seriously. I didn't end up going to the Art Institute. I ended up going to Omega Studios School of Recording Arts and Sciences in Rockville, because Art Institute was like 80 grand. Fudge out of here, I'm not paying 80 grand. Omega Studios was so much more hands-on as far as learning music, learning the science behind music, and I was in the studio every day with producers and engineers. And yeah, that's how I got into making music.
Exclusive beats, beat tapes, custom voice tags, tutorials and vlogs. Commoninterestbeats.com